Welcome to Bubba's podcast.
Bienvenidos a Bobas Podcast. No lo podías decir ahorita. Pero qué bueno, gracias, Aylin.
Mhm.
Felicidades.
Yes,
Eres la,
thank you.
eres la persona que fuiste elegida.
Yeah.
Cuando lo estábamos haciendo yo y Margarito, estábamos haciendo live. Yo dije, a ver a quién le toca. Estaba muy nervioso porque no sabía quién iba a tocar.
Sí.
Y también estábamos platicando yo y Margarito que dijimos, no sabemos si le va a tocar a alguien que no quiera estar en el podcast, ¿sabes?
Sí.
Porque hay gente muy tímida que dice, no, yo no quiero hablar, no quiero que me digan de eso.
Sí.
Y me dijo Margarito, ¿y qué vamos a hacer? Le dije, no, pues si no quiere, le mandamos un mensaje por el medio de la plataforma.
Sí.
Y si no quiere, pues el otro domingo hacemos otro sorteo y vamos a dar 24 horas. Entonces ya cuando saliste tú, vamos a decir, ok, ahorita le mandamos un mensaje y si quiere, pues lo hacemos. Y si no, pues está bien. Pero ya, gracias, felicidades
Yeah,
otra
of
vez.
course. Thank you. I'm super excited to be here. It's super fun to see this come to life and be here. And I'm super happy that you're doing this. I think this is so awesome and so different to be and see someone that I know do a podcast.
Ya, es raro, ¿no? Se siente uno raro y se
Yeah.
siente chido cuando miras a alguien que está haciendo algo
Yes.
similar a lo que quieres o lo que te gustaría.
Yes.
Tú también querías empezar uno, ¿no? O
Um,
habías hablado me acuerdo que una vez dijiste.
Yes, for me, primary, I wanted to start YouTube videos. It was not so much of like a podcast. I wanted to do more like sit down videos, talk about pretty much like both faith and fashion. I
Okay.
want to talk about, obviously, because I love fashion, I love to express myself through clothing, but also faith is such a huge part of my life. So I wanted to have like this series called Faith Talk Friday. So where I post a video every single Friday, just kind of like talking about my testimony, talking about things that I feel like could relate to so many people, like maybe more like in our age range, like youth. And just kind of like things similar to that. But I feel like with podcast, it's more of my youth. Like Sarayi,
Yeah.
she loves podcasts. So she was like telling me like we should start a podcast like as a youth. But I'm like, I don't know, because I feel like with podcasts, it's like it's more talking,
Yeah.
you know. And I feel like with YouTube you can incorporate so much with like editing. You can do just so many things. Like I feel like you can do so much more, but I feel like the way that you're doing it, it's going great. So I feel like seeing you doing it, I feel like, okay, this is so cool. Like it keeps me entertained. I mean, personally, I love podcasts. I love hearing them whenever I'm at work. I always like put them on. So I feel like I was like, okay, so if I'm entertained by it, then I feel like it's something that I could do. But primarily, I'm more of like a sit down YouTuber or more like Instagram and stuff like that.
Nice.
Yeah.
Ya, cuando me dijiste, yo dije, cuando tú me dijiste eso, ok, estábamos, no me acuerdo dónde salió esa plática, pero habías comentado algo que querías hacer, que te dije, yo, hazlo, no sé si te recuerdas que te dije.
Yeah. Yeah,
Yo
to
dije,
do it.
esta muchacha me va a ganar, dije, lo va a hacer primero que yo. Pero dije, no, a lo mejor no se anima, a lo mejor sí se anima. Y ya cuando ya pasó el tiempo, ya no dijiste nada. Entonces yo dije, nada, no lo va a hacer. Y dije, bueno, ahorita todavía no, ojalá y que se anime a hacerlo.
Yeah, like I feel with that, I've been with social media for so long since I was in middle school.
Yeah.
I've always been involved with social media. I started off with MySpace, taking
Desde
pictures.
MySpace.
See this in MySpace? It's because my brother, I have an older brother. He is 4 years older than me, and he's someone that loves like social media. He loves content. That's his job right now. Like
Yeah.
he does business marketing through social media. So he's the one that kind of like started it all. Like he loves photography. He loves creating. So since MySpace, he kind of like put me on board with it when it came to like photography, when it came into like showing off my outfits and stuff. So I kind of been in that area of social media kind of like my whole life. And it's something that I do want to expand more, not the same way that I wanted to back then, because back then I just wanted to focus on like makeup tutorials or like
Yeah.
fashion. But like I mentioned, I want to start more of like spreading the gospel more through social media. I feel like social media is like a space that, yes, it can be kind of toxic, or it can be something that it's not the best environment for so many people. And I kind of want to change that. I want people to look at my platform and have a positive input in it, learning about who God is, learning about who Jesus is and who he is to us. So I feel like now that my passion and my world just like revolves around God, I want to spread that in like a fun, creative way, because I love to be creative. I love to kind of like to still create things in a different form, especially because I get that, like I mentioned, from my brother. For me, he's like a creative genius when it comes to like social media. But I kind of want to keep that going. And more so because back then, I don't know if you've seen my old pictures where I have
Yeah,
like the red
I,
hair and all that, those crazy looks. I like them, but obviously that I would never do them right now. That's something from the past.
yeah,
But believe it or not, I still have people telling me till this day that they remember me from back then. Like in my job, there was this girl that came to my job and she was like, "Oh, I thought you would be so much taller." And I was confused. I was like, "I don't know you. Like,
yeah,
why would you think that?" But I was saying that in my head, and I was like, "Oh, really?" And she was like, "Yeah." And she would continue saying like, "Oh, I follow you on Instagram." And I was like, "Oh, cool. Like, do you?" And she was like, "Yeah." And then she was like, "I remember you from back then. Like, you were
yeah,
such a big inspiration to me. Like, I loved your fashion. I loved your hair." And I kind of was like, wow, like, people till this day
mhm,
still remember me from back then. And I thought that's so cool. But I kind of want things to change. Like, I want 10 years from now for people to be like, I remember you and I saw you because of how you express yourself about God. Like,
yeah,
I feel like it's so cool. Like, yeah, people remember me about my fashion and my hair and like all those crazy things I did back then. But I kind of was like, okay, where do I want to see myself in 10 years? Like, in 10 years, I want people to be like, I found your page because I love the way that you express yourself about the gospel. I love the way you express yourself about Jesus. Or I found Jesus because of your page or something
yeah,
like that. You know, like I want to be remembered not because of me, but because of the impact that I feel like I gave people through my testimony and through my faith.
yeah. That's good.
Hmm.
¿Cuál es la foto que tienes con más likes? Es una locura ese número.
Um, well, okay, so for Facebook, I think it was like 50,000,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
something like more than that. Like if I go back, it's because like you know how Facebook to me, I stopped using it like like in high school. I don't remember, maybe like in 2014, 2015, whenever Instagram was like arising.
yeah,
And I remember the last picture that I had with most likes was like 32,000. But I know that if I go back, it kind of like it could be doubled or more by
yeah,
now, you know. But when it comes to Instagram, back then when I started, I would get like 5,000 likes per
yeah,
picture, like 100 comments and stuff like that. Like I feel like back then like I wasn't really impressed because it wasn't well, the reason why I wasn't impressed and the reason why I feel like I didn't kept on going with it is because I feel like God stopped that. You know, God was like, I don't want you to take that route because
yeah,
if you take that route, like, what if I would have become Instagram famous or an influencer that has like 1 million followers and stuff like that? I feel like if that would have happened in an early age, I wouldn't be where I am now,
yeah,
which is someone that is involved in church, someone that is rooted in their church right now, because I feel like whenever someone gets famous, they automatically want to go to California, right?
yeah,
So I feel like if that would have happened to me, I would be like, oh, I want to go to California, I want to do this, I want to do that. But I feel like God, um, he already had purpose for me. So he was like, no, I want you to take a stop. I don't want you to enjoy this. And I didn't know that back then, obviously, but now I know that God didn't let me enjoy the savory of wanting to create more and more and more because he knew that I was going to get lost in the way.
yeah,
So he was like, I want you to take a pause when it comes to like social media. I don't want you to get super excited over likes or followers. And now I understand why, because God has something bigger. And the bigger thing is that, you know, I'm here serving him. I'm here having a relationship with him. And I'm very grateful, obviously, as human. Um, that like I think I talked about it with my mom and my brother that you know back then I would have all these likes. I would have people at the mall wanting to take pictures with me. Like I was living the full like influencer life, but as like human you kind of miss it. You're kind of like, oh, like my pictures are not doing that great, or
yeah,
I don't have many likes, or I'm not gaining the followers that I would like to see. But with me now, that just like that doesn't matter anymore. Like for me, I'm just kind of like, you know what? Like I don't care. Like my content is not gonna be praising me. I want my content to be focused on God, to be focused on my faith and what I have going on there. And so you know how whenever like in the church, whenever we say if one person goes, that's already a ganancia,
yeah.
and I'm already at like what 19K. That's a big
Ya,
ganancia,
y eso
you know.
es lo que te iba a decir. Y ya estás en un punto donde de las personas que me siguen a mí, yo sigo a personas que tienen casi millones de seguidores.
Mm-hmm.
pero de las personas que me siguen a mí, que tienen muchos followers, eres tú y Daniel. Daniel creo que tiene como 20 y algo. Y tú tienes casi 20,000 followers.
Sí.
Ustedes ya están en un punto, llega un punto de tu vida donde ya no es que no te interese la gente que te sigue, porque sí te interesa,
Sí.
por eso haces contenido, pero ya estás en un punto de tu vida donde dices, lo estoy haciendo porque yo quiero hacerlo, ya lo estoy haciendo por un propósito. Ahora, tu propósito es para que Dios se lleve toda la gloria y toda la honra y todo lo que tú quieres hacer, pues es para Dios. La gente que se va agregando a tu plataforma, pues es ganancia, ya no es, si se van, está bien, no hay problema. No es que no los ocupemos o no los necesitemos, pero ya estás en un punto de tu vida donde dices, si llegan, bueno, y si no, también yo voy a seguir haciendo contenido.
Yes.
Y creo que eso es lo chido, o eso es lo bonito de hacer contenido, porque primero porque lo amas hacer y luego porque también lo estás haciendo por un propósito.
Yes.
Y mucha gente, yo me acuerdo, yo soñaba, siempre soñaba cuando decía, yo quiero tener followers o quiero tener seguidores. Pero ¿cuál es la razón? ¿Para qué quieres tener gente si no estás haciendo un propósito bueno? So, en tu capacidad o en tu sabiduría, ¿cuál sería el momento donde dijiste tú, y quiero hacer un contenido para Dios o para sí, pues para Dios? ¿Qué fue ese momento donde dijiste, quiero hacer ese? ¿Cuándo fue cuando cambiaste el chip de hacerlo, que lo hacías para ti y ahora ya para Dios? ¿En qué momento pasó eso?
Um, I would say whenever, so my brother, he currently lives in Mexico right now. I think he has about 4 to 5 years living there. And whenever he was living here, he will be my photographer, he will be my videographer. Hopefully I said that right. But point is that he would help me in so many things and like the creativity when it came to this, when it came to that. So he left. Like I mentioned 5 years ago, so I was on my own.
Yeah.
I was like, I do not know how to take pictures. I do not know how to edit. I do not know how to do anything. Like literally, he did everything for me. The only thing I did was just obviously like myself, and that's it, and post. So when he left, I wanted to continue it on because I was like, okay, like I have a good following. You know, I see people that they enjoy my content, which I'm super, super grateful because I feel like when people enjoy it, it's very like, it feels really good. You know, like we have to kind of like pat ourselves in the back,
No,
you
y
know,
siente
like,
chido.
wow, yes, you know, it feels really great. So I was like, okay, I want to continue that on, but how do I do it? How do I do it? I was like, okay, I'm just going to do it how I know, which
Yeah.
is fashion and makeup, and that's it. That's the only thing I knew to do. And especially because if you see it, that's the only thing that's kind of like trendy. That's the only thing that catches people's attention. That if you go to a page, makeup artist and like fashion bloggers that have so many followers, I was like, okay, I will keep on doing that thing because I wanted to have like social media to be even like a job where I can
Yeah.
get like paid and everything, you
Porque
know?
sí se puede. Sorry,
Sí,
antes de
no.
interrumpirte, pero yo conozco a 3 personas. No son amigos míos, pero las conozco. Digo que no son amigos míos porque nunca he hablado con ellos, pero los sigo a ellas y a ellos. Y una de ellas estaba desde MySpace, desde cuando tú comenzaste. Bueno, en MySpace tienes una foto que agarró más de 50,000 likes, ¿no?
Yes.
Esa
Yeah.
es la que yo quería. ¿Cuántos
Yes.
tiene? Casi medio millón de
Yeah.
likes
Yes.
en MySpace,
Yes.
¿verdad? Eso es una locura, porque 50,000 está bien, pero medio millón de likes,
Yes.
eso es una cosa
Yeah.
más loca. Y en aquel
Yeah.
tiempo ahorita a lo mejor lo puedes agarrar
Yeah.
más fácil, pero en aquel tiempo no era tan,
No.
porque no había mucho, yo no entré a MySpace. ¿Tú, Margarito, entraste a MySpace? No, yo no entré a MySpace. So, ustedes están más viejos que yo, no están más viejos, son más jóvenes que yo, pero yo no
That's
estaba,
crazy. Why didn't you have one?
porque no sabía de MySpace, yo
Ajá.
supe de Facebook, y eso porque estaba en la high school, y luego Twitter. Era como los dos, Facebook y Twitter. Pero MySpace yo no conocí.
What?
Ahora, a lo que voy es, esos muchachos, esas 3 personas que yo conozco, una de ellas era de MySpace. Ahorita tiene, si no me equivoco, 12,000 followers.
Okay.
No 12,000, 12 millones.
Wow.
No 12,000, 12,
Okay.
12 millones, perdón, me equivoqué. 12 millones de followers. Y ella empezó desde MySpace. Y ahorita ella gana dinero, o sea, creo que gana como $30,000 a month. Cada mes $30,000. Es una locura. Y hace contenido también, así como obvio, ella no es cristiana, ella pues, no es cristiana.
Right.
Pero hace lo mismo, hace
Makeup.
make-up,
fashion,
todo eso,
yeah.
fashion. Entonces le va muy bien. Ella es de México. Y gana $30,000.
Wow.
O sea, en México para ganar $30,000 es un muy buen pago.
Yes, it
Si aquí
is.
es muy bueno, si aquí ganas $30,000 por mes, Es una chulada.
Right.
Es muy bueno.
It is, yeah.
Y especialmente ella en México es mucho mejor. Yo creo que um, tenemos que ver la diferencia. Una de las cosas que del contenido o de lo que estoy aprendiendo, esto es algo personal. No sé si está bien o no, pero es algo personal. El contenido lo tienes que hacer porque quieres hacerlo
Yes.
y no hacerlo por el dinero. Porque
Yes.
si lo haces por el dinero
Yeah.
y no funciona, te vas a cansar y vas a aventar todo. Vas a decir, nah, never mind.
And that's exactly what was my mindset. I wanted to do it for the money and even like, I'm going to admit it, even for the
Yeah.
fame, because like I said, it feels good for people to recognize you. It
La
feels
gente que
good.
dice que no,
Mhm.
estás
It's a
mintiendo.
lie. It's a lie. Like, it feels great to have all these comments. It feels
Claro.
great to have this attention.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Y es lo mismo para Dios.
Mhm.
O sea, cuando tú estás siguiendo a Dios, lo tienes que hacer porque quieres seguir a Dios.
Right.
No porque la gente alrededor tuyo que está influyendo a buscar a Dios. Porque vamos a decir, Margarito, él me está invitando a la iglesia. Es un ejemplo, ¿right? Y me está diciendo, el día que Margarito se canse y no vaya a la iglesia, y yo lo estoy haciendo por él, yo también me voy a ir de la iglesia. En cambio, si yo me enamoro de Dios, de lo que realmente yo amo es a Dios,
Right.
si Margarito se va, Dios te bendiga, Margarito. Está bien, a mí me va a doler, pero yo estoy haciéndolo porque quiero a Dios, porque
Right.
amo a Dios.
Right.
Creo que eso es la diferencia de hacer contenido cuando lo haces por dinero
Yes.
o por pasión.
Yes.
Porque cuando lo haces por pasión no te interesa, aunque no tengas followers, lo vas a hacer. Como yo ahorita, y gracias a Dios a todos los que nos siguen, un saludo y qué chido.
Yes.
Pero lo hago porque me encanta hacer esto, me encanta disfrutar una plática, me encanta conectar con gente y creo que eso es lo chido.
Mhm.
¿Que van a venir más? Claro que sí, y si no llegan
Right.
también.
Yeah.
Yo voy a seguir haciéndolo. La diferencia es porque lo haces porque tienes una pasión por eso.
Right. Yes.
Um,
And
you-
I feel like, and that's where I want to get to. So yeah, whenever he left, I was like, I want to continue it on because obviously it brings money, it gives you all this attention, and I want it. Like, I still want to continue on. So the moment that I feel like you said, it kind of like switched for me, where I was like, okay, I don't want to do fashion no more. I don't want to do primary makeup no more, and I want to spread the gospel. If I'm being honest, I feel like, I feel like it happened whenever I saw that my pictures were starting to get less and less likes.
yeah.
I remember if I posted a picture, it will be 1,000 minimum.
Y duele, right?
Yes, it hurts, it burns. It's okay, guys. You don't have to like
Yeah.
my pictures or anything like that. But I feel like in a human point of view, like whenever I say human point of view, like us, like internally, like, yeah, like I feel like us as a human beings, we kind of have that natural instinct where we don't want things to decrease, like in
Yeah.
anything, like in money or friends or anything like that. So when I saw that, I took like I'm a type of person that takes so much dedication with my pictures. Like my mom now, she's my photographer. She's like everything when it comes to like my social media. I feel like we would put so much effort. We would go to all these places. We would take hours to try to just to get that one perfect picture.
Yeah.
I would take like 200, and out of those 200, just use like 4 of them, So we would take so much dedication, and whenever I would be posting, and I saw that my pictures were like slowly decreasing in likes and even followers. Like I was decreasing in followers, I was decreasing in likes. I was like, what is going on? Like,
Yeah.
like I was just super confused. I was like, I'm giving what I feel like people want to see. And I feel like that's the biggest mistake. You're not supposed to give what people want to see. You're supposed to give what you want to give, like, because that's your passion. And so that's when I noticed, I was like, okay, like, hold back. Like, I'm not enjoying this no more. Like, I wanted to quit. I just wanted to like forget about my page, forget about social media, and just be someone that had a social media just to get on it and distract yourself, but not to create any more content, right?
Yeah.
So I feel like I was like, during that time, I was getting closer and closer to God. And I was like, in my church, we're really focusing on evangelizing. We're blessed. Like, I'm not gonna say that we're like, oh, we're struggling. No, we're blessed. We're such a blessed church. I love my church so much. But of course, we do want members, not for the number, but to know that there's to increase and having people following Jesus and having a relationship with Jesus, right? So when I saw that we were kind of like declining in membership, it was not like it's a moment of sadness when from a human point of view, because obviously you don't want to see the people that you were with for so long to leave. But I feel like I was like, okay, like what could I do? What can I do like with evangelizing? And so I was thinking, I was like, wait a second, social media. Social
Yeah.
media is such a cool place. I think it's such a fun place that you can reach so many people. And that's whenever I was starting 3 years ago, I started to watch preachings on YouTube. I don't know if you know about Transformation Church.
Yeah.
That's like my primary
Yo quiero
church.
ir a esa iglesia.
I
I
do
want to go
too.
so
I
bad.
do. I want to go there so bad. I love Pastor Mike. I think they have such an amazing ministry over there. And when I saw that they were reaching so many people and so many people were knowing Jesus based on YouTube videos, based on Instagram posts, I was like, wait a second, I can do the same thing
Y
too.
fue
You know?
rápido, creció muy
Yeah,
rápido.
they grew so fast. Because they have, like, when it came to relationship goals, I don't know if you watch those
Yeah.
videos. I
El
fell
libro lo
in love
compré.
with. I bought the book. No,
Ajá.
actually, I didn't. Clarissa, she bought it for me, and I love it. I love the videos. I watch every single series, and so I was just kind of like, that's something that we can do too as a
Yeah.
church. Like, I created our youth page. Obviously, my page is transitioning to more of a like, how can I say, like a more spiritual page. Right now, like my pastor, he wants to create well, we do have a YouTube channel for our church, but like no one has kind of like kept up with it or anything like that. But now he wants to get like on top of that. We want to do this, we want to do that. And I feel like I was like, yeah, let's do it. Now, and that's whenever it kind of, that's for me, my switch was that wanting to evangelize. And I started thinking how. And I was like, okay, I want to spread the gospel because I love it. I noticed that that's my passion more than makeup and more than fashion, because Jesus is everything to me. Like, why not do that in a social media page? And so now going back to about like the fact of not getting so many likes or anything like that, whenever I post a video of like of my faith, I do like these little kind of like reels where I do like, oh, 5 scriptures to help you to get encouraged and stuff like that. I love doing those. And when I post it, I don't look at the numbers.
Yeah.
I'm like, if only one person sees that, that's a blessing right there, so I feel like that's when I noticed. I was like, okay, this is my passion. If I don't care that only one person is seeing it, that's how you know that that's your passion for social media and for your creativity. So for me, like, yes, like I still want to do like fashion because like I still love it and I love creating with my outfits. But now whenever I post a picture or whenever I post like videos or anything like that, I do it because I like it. And now I don't care if I get 1,000 or if I get 20 likes. Like if I get 20 likes, then that's fine. Like 20 people saw it, 20 people liked it, and that's really cool. If God wants to bless me along the way with getting more followers, not for my praise or not because people are praising me, but because they're getting to know Jesus and they like the content that I'm creating, then that's going to be super welcomed, and I'll be super grateful for anybody that wants to follow that journey. But my main focus with social media now, from now on, I want it to be to people to get to know God through like my perspective and even like through my eyes. You know how like they say it like that. So yeah, that's now my
¿No has tratado de verificar tu cuenta?
to verify.
Yeah.
I know that to verify is kind of like specific rules, isn't it? Like you have to
Lo mínimo que tienes que tener followers son 10,000.
10,000. Okay.
Ya me investigué todo como si yo tengo apenas 100.
Okay.
pero ya, debes de tener
Okay.
más de 10,000 y tienes que tener una profesión.
Okay.
O sea, como tú que eres diseñadora de ¿cómo se dice? Fashion. Sí, no sé cómo se dice en español. ¿Cómo se dice en español?
¿De modas?
Ya, de modas.
Okay.
Tienes como esa categoría, entonces te la pueden verificar más fácil.
Okay.
No sé si te has puesto a ver si hay cuentas falsas tuyas.
No.
¿No te has fijado? Ya, si tienes creo que como 4 o 5 cuentas tuyas falsas, entonces es más fácil que te verifiquen.
Okay.
Ya,
Alright.
porque te están robando tu identidad y están robando tu contenido. Entonces está chido. Y ya una vez que tienes la palomita, está más beautiful. Porque ya ahora ya no eres... Porque ahorita todavía puedes ser una persona falsa. Simplemente nomás los estás robando en videos. Pero ya con la cuenta verificada, pues se dan cuenta que realmente eres tú. Por eso te preguntaba que si no has visto la verificación. Investiga.
Yeah, I'm gonna investigate.
Ya,
and see
creo
from
que son
there.
más de 10,000 followers. Y ya de ahí ya pueden verificar tu cuenta. Yeah.
Okay, that's
Ya,
good.
está chido porque creo que ya cuando verificas tu cuenta, pues ya tienen más credibilidad.
Yeah, you have more opportunities. You get more notice, like for people, and like sponsorships and everything like
Correcto.
that.
Ya.
So that's when you create like income and
Y ahí es
just kind
cuando
of go
ya
from
la
there.
vida empieza a
Yes.
tomar otro rumbo.
Yes.
Y so, ahorita piensas hacer no tu podcast, pero tu YouTube channel o todavía o no te has animado.
That's the thing. I feel like with YouTube, I actually like want to ask people to help me out because I have literally everything. Like you can ask my mom; she's actually very upset with me because I bought a $2,000 camera. I have mics. I have the background. I even bought Final Cut Pro. Like I have everything for a video because I was super pumped. I was like, I'm gonna do it. I'm gonna do it. And then I'm like, wait a second. I don't know a single thing about like video or anything like that. And I feel like that's the main reason why I haven't started because I feel like I haven't like I guess you can say like I need to take my time to that, but you know how life comes, you know, you have school, you have your job, you have church, you have all these things, and like I feel like I just never sat down or haven't reached out to get help in order for me to be able to start my YouTube when it comes to like editing, when it comes to like where do I put the lights, where do I put the camera and stuff like that. But for sure, like once I kind of like get a little bit more situated with work, when I get a little bit more situated, kind of like even with myself, because I feel like you have to have a good mindset when it comes to social media, because whenever it comes to faith, I feel like it's a little controversial. You know, like there's gonna be people that they think they know, and that's respectful. Like it's okay. Everyone has their own opinion when it comes to like their faith or anything that comes like about religion and stuff like that. But I feel like you also have to be in a healthy mindset, and I feel like I'm still not there just quite yet. And there's nothing wrong with it. Like I feel like it's okay to work on myself, to work on my mental health, because I want to receive the good and the bad in a good way.
Ya, porque si no estás mentalmente
prepared,
preparado, con el primer ataque que te avienten, lo vas a
like I quit. My next YouTube video is like why I'm quitting YouTube. No, so like I want to be strong, like mentally, and like making sure that when I whenever I start doing YouTube is because it's something that I love, because it's something that I'm passionate about, because like I said, creating content is been there my whole entire life, and I like it. I think it's so beautiful. It's so rewarding to finally get that picture or to have that video created and like share it on YouTube and seeing like my friends like it or whatever. I feel like with me, when it comes to YouTube and being in front of the camera, like I feel good and I feel comfortable.
Porque eres buena para hacer eso. Hay gente que no somos tan buenos.
Yes.
O sea, yo no me considero una buena persona para estar enfrente de la cámara. Por eso es la razón que casi no la veo. Porque me pongo más nervioso. En cambio, si te estoy viendo aquí es una plática. Y si veo a la cámara, me pongo nervioso. Cada vez que la veo me pongo nervioso. Y tú tienes la genuinidad de que puedes estar enfrente de la cámara y no te pones nerviosa. ¿Cuál crees tú que es la red más tóxica que hay? La red social. ¿Tú tienes Twitter o no?
I have an account, but I don't have the app anymore.
Okay.
So the only thing that I have is Instagram and YouTube. Those are the only things that I have.
You have Snapchat?
No, well, I think I have everything except TikTok. That's the only thing I was like, I'm not going to get on it because I feel like I already spend so much time on Instagram and on YouTube. I was like, I do not need a third app taking so much of my time. And of course, there's good things on on TikTok, like hacks and like information. It's not just like about people dancing or like whatever, you know? But for me, I'm just kind of like, no, I already have enough with like YouTube and Instagram. So I guess I'm just going to say based on those two, like I'm going to compare like YouTube and Instagram. I would say the most toxic would be for me is Instagram.
Yeah, para mí es Twitter.
Twitter? Okay.
Pero yo uso Twitter.
Okay.
Yo todos los días estoy en Twitter. No escribo casi, es muy raro. Yo el otro día escribí algo.
Is it you, the one that's doing like negative tweets? I'm just like.
No, soy yo. No soy yo, gracias a Dios que no soy. Apenas la semana pasada hice un tweet. No me acuerdo ni qué puse. Pero ya tenía años que no sé. Hago retweets. Pero yo creo que es la más tóxica porque hay muchísima gente de todo tipo de...
Yeah, I feel like I kind of heard that too, like people saying that Twitter was like more toxic. I tried getting onto the like Twitter train, but I just couldn't. Like I feel like I stopped having that app whenever I was like barely graduating from high school. I was like, no, like
Yeah.
I don't even get on it or anything. Like I already have enough with like YouTube and Instagram, so I'm just gonna stay with those two. But no, I feel like I guess I'm glad that I don't have it then, because I
Yeah.
feel like Instagram is already like toxic enough. Like yeah, you get to see so many cool things, but at the same time, whenever you look at it, you start comparing yourself to
Yeah.
other people,
Eso es
and
lo
I
peor.
feel like that's the worst thing, and that's something that I struggle a lot. I feel less now, but more back then. Like back then, I would struggle so much with it, because I was like, oh, her outfit is so much better than mine. Her body so much better than mine. Wow, look, she gets 5,000, and I don't barely get like 1,000, or I barely get
Yeah.
100, like or whatever. And you start comparing numbers. You start comparing yourself physically. You start seeing that their life just looks so much better, and
Yeah.
that's not the truth, you know.
¿Y cómo le haces tú para salir de eso? ¿Cómo le haces para no compararte con la gente?
God. I feel like for me, not being able to compare myself with other people is knowing the God that I have,
Yeah.
because I feel like knowing who is your God and what is God for you, you're just kind of like, okay, because what's the number one thing that they teach us? That God loves us the way that we are, that we're perfect the way that we are. So I'm just kind of like, I like to like rewind, and I kind of like start thinking, I was like, okay, wait a second, like, who do I believe in?
Yeah.
Jesus. What do we know about Jesus? That he loves us and that he creates perfection. So I'm like, okay, she may have a better body, but that's based on society. Society thinks that she has a better body than me, but what does Jesus say? Jesus says that me and her
Yeah.
have a perfect bodies.
Nice.
You know, so
Mira.
I feel like that's my mindset. And I was like, okay, like I told my mom, because I told her, I was like, man, like I don't have, like, I'm not tall, or I don't have the nose that I want or whatever.
Yeah.
But I was just like, but I always tell her, I was like, but the reason why I say that is because it's what society thinks. But don't worry, mom, like I know that I'm beautiful. I know that God created me the way that he wanted to create me. But the reason why I still say these little comments, because we're still living here, and unfortunately we're surrounded by what society says. We're still surrounded about what is beautiful and who is beautiful, you know. So I feel like with me, and like my advice to anyone that's Christian or not Christian, always remember that no one is perfect, that even if you think someone is better than you or looks better than you, or whatever your like insecurity is, always remember that there's a purpose of why, and the reason why who you are. Like there's a reason why you're the person that you are right now, or there's a reason why you look like that, because God doesn't make any mistakes. So for me, my advice would be like, you know, find out who God is, and find out his reasons and why creating us, because he loves us and because he created us based on his image. You know,
Yeah.
so if we're created based on his image, that means that we're beautiful. That means that I'm not saying like, oh, okay, like I'm beautiful, but you're gonna start being negative to like the people that look beautiful based on
Yeah.
society. No, like I mentioned, I'm beautiful and she's beautiful too. Like we're both beautiful, and I feel like one other thing to add to that is the movie The Shack. I don't know if you've seen it,
No.
La
No.
Cabaña.
No.
That movie like helps you so much to be positive towards yourself and also positive towards other people, because there was a scene there, because the movie is kind, I don't want to give it too much away just in case someone wants to watch it. It's
¿Cómo,
so good.
cómo se llama la película?
The Shack, it's on Netflix right now, and I highly recommend that one, because that movie just gives you like the like a perfect description of if you want to discover who God is or
Okay.
who Jesus is, you know. So I feel like so the primary like focus of the movie is about a family that they go through a really tough time. And so point is that there's a murder in the movie. I'm not going to say who gets killed, but point is that there's a murder in the movie, and the main character has to forgive him. And so he doesn't want to. He was like, no, like he's a murderer. Like how am I going to forgive someone that's a monster, someone that did this, someone that killed someone, you know?
Yeah.
And then he was like, it's because the reason why I want you to forgive him is because he's also my son. You know, God was
Oh,
telling that to
wow.
the guy. And I was, when he said that, I was like, that is so true. Like,
Yeah.
we need whenever I get mad at someone, I was like, he's also your son. He's also your son. Like, I feel like that's what I love that scene, because I feel like it's helping me in every aspect. When someone gets me mad, I'm like, okay, he's also your son. He's also your son. Or whenever I see a girl that I feel like it's prettier than me, or that's doing better in like ministry, like not
Yeah.
just physically, like even here in the church, we compare ourselves.
Yeah.
We're like, wow, like, el hermano, you were district president of the youth for like so many years. There's people that can probably be envious of it, like, wow, like
Yeah.
that should be me, that shouldn't be him up there, so there's like envious people among the church, and that's like, it's not our fault, because obviously like there's an enemy that gives us like those negative mindsets. But I feel like we should also remember, when it comes to like in ministry, in Christianity, or even out in the world, when it comes to physically, or in someone having a better job with you, like you should be happy for that person, because they're
Yeah.
also God's children. And even the people that are not the best people, that did horrible things, like, yes, it's horrible, but we also have to realize that it's not God's fault. God is not the reason why these terrible things happen, and we should always remember they're also God's children. So
Yeah.
that's why I highly recommend you that movie, because it just opens like a mindset that you're just kind of like, it's so simple, but for me it was just like mind blowing. I was
Yeah.
like, oh snap, like that scene, they delivered it perfectly.
Nice. ¿Cómo le haces para lidiar con los comentarios negativos? Porque está chido cuando te halagan.
Yes.
Oh, estás bonita, estás haciendo un buen trabajo. No digo que están bonitos, porque los muchachos no creo que nos digan, es guapos, ya.
Yeah.
Están haciendo un buen trabajo. Eso está chido, porque eso te eleva tu ego. Pero ¿cómo le haces para cuando tienes un comentario negativo? ¿Cómo lidias con eso? A mí, gracias a Dios, que no me ha pasado un comentario
Right.
negativo, ni quiero que me
Ooh,
pase.
yeah,
Pero
like,
¿cómo le haces tú para lidiar con eso?
I feel like, yeah, like I said, like, since obviously when you start social media or you create an account, you're open to have good and bad comments. So my whole entire life, I've always had good comments, but I also had bad comments. I feel like the way before, my brother would handle it. Like back then, like whenever I wasn't Christian, I would like fight back. I'm like,
Oh,
you're
yeah?
ugly. Yeah, back then I would fight back, and my brother would like get on his page and fight her back, like saying, well, you're uglier and this and that. So like
Yeah.
back then, yeah, like I wouldn't handle it.
Eres bien tóxica, Di.
Yeah. No, no. So, but I mean, yeah, it's true. Yeah, like
Yeah.
I would fight back, and think like, nah, anyways, they're ugly, and then continue with my. But now, where I am now, no, like I feel like I see it, and I'm just kind of like, back. There was a certain point where I was like, man, she's right. Like,
Yeah.
I look ugly, or I edit my pictures way too much, or I do this, I do that, and but then what helped me is that I would talk to my brother. I was like, she said this and that, and he would be like, he would just hype me up so much. He was like, don't listen to that, like, always remember who you are, always remember why you're doing it, and this and that.
Yeah.
And now that he's not here physically with me, now I rely 100% on God. And of course, like, we still have other people, like friends, like my mom. She's someone that I tell her, I was like, oh, this is going on, and she's like, she helps me and she encourages me. But I feel like when I see a negative comment, I read it and I'm like, oh, like, I'm gonna pray for you, because there's a reason why you're being negative, because either you want to hurt me because you're hurt yourself.
Y yo creo que cuando haces un comentario malo, en vez de ser el comentario de la persona, estás reflejando lo que tú eres.
Yes, exactly.
Y eso es una locura. La gente,
Yes.
las veces no nos damos cuenta. Cuando tú comentas algo negativo de alguien, es porque tú tienes algo negativo. Porque
Exactly.
si no tienes cosas negativas, no lo vas a hacer. No vas a ya, si está mal lo que está haciendo, pues está mal. Pero nomás dices si está mal. No dices, oh, yo lo puedo hacer mejor. Alguien mal. No, simplemente, si está mal, ok, está mal. Pero cuando tienes algo negativo en tu vida, empiezas a aventarle tierra a la otra persona, porque tú también estás lleno de tierra. Y creo que muchas veces la gente está frustrada, que si mira a alguien, o sea, se frustra en su casa y luego va y lo saca en social media. O sea, ese coraje que trae lo avienta con la primera persona que se topa en el Instagram o en el YouTube o donde sea, y empiezan a aventar todo lo que ellos traen, lo avientan para afuera. Sin darse cuenta, lo echan para afuera. Hay una persona que hace juegos también, y lo descubrieron que tenía una cuenta falsa donde le echaba tierra a los...
I had that.
Oh,
I had a page that was dedicated to just make fun of me.
Yeah.
Like,
Oh, yeah?
Yes. I did.
Oh, wow.
That was kind of like years ago, and I saw it, and I was like, "What is going on?" But I was like, luckily, I was already in a good mindset, and all I
Yeah.
did was just message that account. I don't know if they read it or not, but I just sent a message saying like, "Hey, like." It's okay, like
Yeah.
whatever you're doing this, but I just want to let you know that if you're going through something, like I'm sorry for it. Yeah, like I'm gonna
Yeah.
pray for you. Like I was just trying to give her like words of encouragement because I feel like you should kill them with niceness.
Yeah.
Like
Ese es lo más feo que puedes hacer en una forma buena.
yes, exactly. Like letting her know that she can be doing all of this, or he, I don't know, they could be doing whatever they're doing, but like it doesn't affect me, like it doesn't affect me. And hey, like I'm going to be praying for you, like,
Yeah.
because I feel like you mentioned, like there's people that do this because they're insecure about their own situations or they're going through a hard time. So I was like, okay, if they're going through a hard time, for me to avoid her, him to continue on with this, let me pray for them because if they're in a positive mindset, then they can stop what they're
Yeah.
doing. So
No, y si no, que hacen más fama aquí.
yeah, exactly. They're giving me free promo, so
Yeah.
it is what it is.
¿Cuál ha sido tu viaje favorito?
Um, I would say our trip.
¿Pero segura?
Yes. Okay.
No lo tienes que decir porque estoy aquí, no me voy a sentir
No,
mal.
no.
Ahorita ya, checa, ya gracias a Dios que ya
Ajá.
llegué a un punto donde los comentarios me sirven,
Mhm.
especialmente de las personas que están cerca hacia mí, me sirven.
Mhm.
Pero las personas, no estoy diciendo que tú no estés cerca de mí, por lo que voy a decir, pero las personas que están, son 5 o 6 personas que están cerca de mí, que digo, ok, sí le hago caso a esta persona porque está muy cercana a mí.
Mhm.
Y los otros comentarios ya no me afectan. Y
Ujú.
aún hasta las personas, a mí
Right.
como de mi mamá,
Yeah.
especialmente de mi mamá. Cuando ella me da un comentario sí me interesa,
Mhm.
porque obvio es mi mamá
Ujú.
o uno de mis hermanos. Pero ya no me afecta en la forma de decir, oh, ya no voy a hacer eso porque a esta persona no le gustó. So, si ese fue el mejor viaje, qué chido. Pero,
Okay, it wasn't. I'm just saying.
yeah.
No. No, I feel like the reason why it was because like I'm thinking about all my other trips and like I mean, I enjoyed it. Like, don't get me wrong, if the people that are watching are people that I went to a trip with, I loved it. But there was just the reason why with you is because it's like first of all because of convention, like
Yeah.
that's already like super amazing going because of convention, but also Colorado, like ooh, to this day I tell people, I was like, that is literally amazing. Like I loved Colorado, I loved the activities that we did, so it was like super fun. The only thing I didn't like was Vegas, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
I feel like because it's not, I personally I think it's not our like environment. We don't like, I guess you can say, gamble or drink or whatever, which is what it's mainly known for.
Yeah.
But I mean, it was nice. Like we still got to walk around, see the fountain and stuff. But I just didn't really like it because I didn't like, smelling like cigars everywhere you see, or like
Cerveza.
yeah, everything like that. But if you're into that, then that's fine. But since I'm not into that, and we're not into like anything that Vegas offers besides just taking cute pictures or like cool pictures.
Yeah.
But other than that, I didn't really like that much. Vegas that much. I just like the fact that we went and I got to see it and know it, and that's it. But would I go back? Maybe not. But transition to California, like obviously California, I liked it. I really enjoyed Universal Studio. I think it was super fun, and like I said, convention was amazing. I feel like us three, we received like tremendous blessings,
That's good.
and it was amazing. But I would say my second favorite trip would be to New York. I
Yeah.
love New York. I haven't been there for like years, like years. I think whenever I was like in high school or like in freshman year, like kind of like that.
Yeah.
But I loved it. Like it's because I'm a city girl, so I loved seeing the city. I love seeing all that. So I would say our trip and New York are like neck and neck.
Okay.
But yeah, those two were really great.
Ya habías ido a California, ¿no? Cuando fuiste la primera vez, te
Yes.
rompiste tu rodilla.
That's why I can't say that trip. That's why I can't say that trip because like my knee and also my elbow. So I was just like the whole entire trip I was limping. I was in so much pain. I just did not enjoy it whatsoever. Like I enjoyed the people that I was with, but I didn't get to enjoy them because I was just thinking of my pain. So that's
Yeah.
why it was so refreshing going back to California to be able to praise God and to just have like a new like to be good, like
Yeah.
not to be limping and stuff. So
Ya
yeah.
no estar quebrada.
Yeah, exactly.
¿Cuál es una de las veces que has estado tú con más miedo?
Like what type of scare? Like,
Ah, como de miedo. O sea, como de que quedan asustados.
that's funny because okay.
No,
So I want to say two things.
okay.
I'm gonna say two different situations.
Yeah.
I'm the type of person, believe it or not, I love to watch like conspiracy videos. I love to watch like everything that is kind of like people going to investigate like abandoned places, and some of them, you know, are spooky. Like some of them have ghosts or whatever, and
Yeah.
I kind of like seeing that. I don't know why, it just entertains me. Everything that's like suspenseful and stuff like that. So I'm gonna say two stories that they're completely different. The first one is one that I wanted to tell you about in
Yeah.
our church. Um, I don't know if like the girls if they remember this, but I remember this because I think it was so cool to like experience it and
So
not
cool.
see it in like YouTube. But for some reason, I didn't get scared, but I still want to like talk about it, because like I feel like maybe the girls got scared. I don't know, but point is that we were having like a velada, and
Yeah.
but ours it started like at 9 or 10, and we were gonna end like at 12. So let's say that it was like around 10:30, 11. We were waiting for Sarai's mom. She was gonna give us the Bible study, and so we were just like playing games meanwhile we were like waiting. And so Sarai and Clarice, they brought their niece, and she was like 4 or 3 at the time.
Todo chiquito.
Yeah, she was little. So the girls were playing, and I was like having a bag of chips, and the little girl, her name is Carmen, she loved like the lace that I had, so she was like eating it with me. And she just started talking to me. She was like, oh, this and that, and I was like, okay. I was the only one that was like talking to her. Everyone was like in their own thing. And out of nowhere, like I'm sitting here, right? And behind me, obviously I can't see behind me. Let's pretend that behind me is like darkness, like no
Yeah.
one's there, nothing's there, and she's right here, and she's facing this way, like her back is towards this, and she's facing this way.
So estaba viendo a tu cara. Ella
Yes.
que estaba viendo a tu
Uh-huh,
cara.
yes. So she was looking at me like that. We were talking, and then out of nowhere, she stops, smiles, and goes like this.
Uh-oh.
And I'm like, I turn around, and I'm like, who? And I told the girls, I was like, did you guys notice that she literally said hi to no one? And I was like, or did someone pass by me, or is there someone there that I just
Yeah.
didn't notice? And they're like, because they were sitting this way, so they were facing that way, like where my back was facing. So they were like, obviously no, because we would have seen someone passing by behind you
Yeah.
if someone was there. And so I was like, okay, well, she just literally waved at someone. And so then like, I guess it's because my response wasn't so much of scared, but I was like like jumpy, so that kind of got her freaked out. And so she hugged Sarai, and Sarai was like,
Ella sí se asustó.
yeah, ella sí se asustó. So she was like, she started crying, and then Sarai was like, who's there? Who did you saw? And she was like, there's a man right there.
Oh, wow.
Imagine
Yeah.
Imagine that. And like you turn around, no one is there. And she said, there's a man right there.
Y es una niña, no puede estar mintiendo.
Yeah, she couldn't stop. She couldn't be lying, because whenever she's the type of girl that if someone waves at her, or if she sees someone, she likes to wave at someone. She
Okay.
does. I've never in my entire life seen her wave at just nothing. And for her to say there's a man right there, I
Yeah.
was like, oh my gosh. And so we were like, and so like even more, she was a little bit scared. And so Sarai, to comfort her, she was like, oh, it was Pastor, right? She was like, okay, yes, it was Pastor. It was Pastor. For her to like be calm that there wasn't like a stranger in our church, you know?
Yeah.
So obviously the girls were like freaking out. They were like rebuking and this and that. But Jasmine was like, no, girls, like calm down. Like, you know, what if it was an angel? What if it was nothing
Yeah.
like, you know, like bad or whatever? But yeah, like, I don't know. I just think it's so weird that it happened like at a church. Guys, don't think churches are spooky. I hate, I'm not gonna lie, I hate whenever movies and like Hollywood make movies based on like a demonic church or like a scary church, because I feel like I just hate that. Like
Yeah.
I hate people that do that, because that's not the image that a church is, and I feel like it should stop. But whatever. But no, I just feel like I don't know what happened that night, but it happened, and so that was a very spooky night. But another event where I got like super scared is that I was at my mom's apartment. And the thing is that it's me, my mom, and my little brother. He's not so little; he's 16. But the thing
Yeah.
is that he loves to scare me. Like he loves to like jump out and like be like boo or like whatever. Or sometimes like and also I'm someone that's a little bit like nervous, or like I don't like the darkness. So if I walk in the dark and I don't know where to see him, even though he's not scaring me, I still get like kind of scared. So he knows that I'm like that. He knows that I'm a little bit jumpy in the darkness, right? So there was this one time that I woke up in the middle of the night because I wanted to use the restroom, and my mom woke. She's the one that stood up, and then she went. So I was waiting for her, and she even said to Carlos, that's his name. She was like, "What are you doing? It's like 3 o'clock in the morning. What are you doing up?" And so I don't know what he was doing, but point is that yeah. So I knew that he was awake, but I didn't know that what was gonna happen.
Yeah.
So my mom closed the door and I opened it, and I don't know where I see my brother just standing there, like he didn't even try scare me or nothing like that. So I got so severely scared, like you have no idea. Like I was like, "Mom," I was like, "I don't know what's wrong with him," and I got back and I started crying, like I
Pero,
was.
¿él estaba despierto?
Ya, él estaba
Okay.
despierto. Like, es que he knew what he was doing. Like, él sabía que eso me iba a espantar, so por eso lo hizo ahí. Que estaba nomás
Oh,
parado ahí en la oscuridad, like, sin hacer nada. And so I was telling him, I was like, I'm so scared. And I started crying. And I started having a panic attack. Like, I
yeah.
stopped breathing. Like, I was like, I don't know. It was just terrible. It was so scary. But I feel like that's the first. And also, another time is whenever I went to a haunted house, I also had like a mini like panic attack because that day I lost my phone in a haunted house. Back then I used to wear extensions. I lost an extension and I broke all of my nails.
Oh, wow.
Yes, and so I had a panic attack because I was like, I'm scared and I lost my phone and I broke all my nails and this and that. I'm just someone that doesn't like to get scared. Like it was funny because my friend, he was like, you lost your phone, you lost this, and you also lost your dignity, because I just started crying. I was like, yeah, like I don't do good with scary situations, and I think it's so ironic because I like to watch like
Yeah.
suspenseful things. So I don't know why, but I guess I'm just weird when it comes to that.
Ya, porque si te gusta lo que es de miedo, pues
Mhm.
no te deberías de paniquear, pero sí
Yeah,
te
exactly.
paniqueas.
Yeah, like I like when it came to the haunted house, like you know it's fake, like it's costumes, like
Yeah,
it's not
exactly.
real. But I was so scared, like I was just like I wouldn't even look at the stuff. I had my eyes closed and holding on to my friend the entire time.
Yeah.
But yet I would be screaming, I would be like jumping, and it was so chaotic. And also with my little brother, like I mentioned, I got so scared that I even had like a whole panic attack and everything. And he didn't even do anything. He was just standing there, like that's the thing. But yet, whenever the thing with Carmen and at church, that didn't scare me, and
Yeah.
and it was technically like a whole ghost was there. Well, I personally don't believe in ghosts, so I don't even know what it was. But yeah, I don't know. I guess I'm weird.
Ya. No, a mí nunca me ha pasado nada. Bueno, una vez nos pasó en México,
Mm-hmm.
en La Llave, en un rancho, pero teníamos o tenían más bien, una cosa donde antes salía el agua allí,
Mm-hmm.
muchos años antes.
Okay.
Entonces se quedó la llave ese lugar.
Yes.
Y dicen, ¿sabes? ¿Es un bulto?
Bulto no.
No. Un bulto es cuando se aparece, es como un bulto, como un ataúd,
Okay.
pero blanco.
Okay.
Y se aparece en una parte.
Okay.
Y luego ya es nomás como un ataúd donde,
Okay.
donde entierran a la gente.
Oh, okay.
Solo
Okay.
decían que ahí se aparecía un bulto.
Mm-hmm.
Y no, eran como las 3 de la mañana. No, como las 3 de la mañana. Estábamos contando chistes de miedo y chistes
Okay. Yeah.
regulares. Y eran las 3 de la mañana. Ya estábamos todos cansados. Y no, pues ya no vamos a ir. Estábamos esperando que supuestamente el bulto saliera, pero no salía. O sea, el bulto estaba, o sea, no estaba, pero supuestamente ahí es donde desaparecía.
Mm-hmm.
Eso como a las 3 de la mañana, yo no sé, como a las 3 de la mañana, de repente alguien dijo, miren, ahí está el bulto. Y todos volteamos. Pero no sé si lo miramos o realmente estábamos tan cansados
Mm-hmm.
que ya todos nos imaginamos ese bulto,
Right.
¿sabes?
Yeah.
Es como que, ya se apareció,
Yeah.
vámonos.
Mm-hmm.
Y dijo un señor, no, quédense, todavía va a pasar algo más. Y nos quedamos ahí y nomás de repente ya no estaba. Dijo, men, ya se fue.
Right.
So, no sé si estábamos, yo sí lo vi, pero no sé si ya de tanto que estábamos platicando de eso, nuestra mente empezó a figurar eso.
Mm-hmm. That's true.
Porque eso pasa, en vez la mente es tan poderosa.
Yes.
Ahorita
it
sí que
is.
llegamos a ese punto antes de terminar, pero miramos, eso es lo más scary que me ha pasado.
Mm-hmm.
De ahí en más, he oído muchas historias. Tú tienes muchas historias locas. He oído yo muchas historias locas de miedo, pero nunca he pasado. Y ni quiero pasar tampoco.
Yeah, like
A mí no me
yeah,
gustan las
no.
películas de miedo.
Okay.
Para
Nothing
nada.
like
No,
nothing.
nada. Nada.
Okay.
Una vez me acuerdo que fuimos, hace como unos 10 años, fuimos al cine
Okay.
de la iglesia.
Oh,
Acabando de
okay.
salir de la iglesia, nos fuimos a ver una película de miedo.
Do you remember which one it was?
Es una muy famosa.
Like, was it like a killer or ghost?
No,
or-
era un Ghost,
Ghost.
creo. Creo que hicieron ya 2 películas de esa. Son películas, es una película famosísima,
Okay.
muy famosa.
Okay.
No me acuerdo cómo se llama. Pero íbamos a ir a la iglesia y sabían que a mí no me gustaba. Sabían que a mí no me gustaba. Y fuimos al cine, yo no sabía que era de miedo. Y me pusieron en el mero medio para que no me les fuera.
Oh gosh.
Ya.
Yeah.
Me pusieron en el mero. Y toda la película me la pasé así.
Oh no.
Con la mano, ¿sabes? Con la mano en
Mhm.
los ojos.
Mhm.
De tanto miedo que tuve. Y dije, jamás en mi vida vuelvo a venir al cine con ustedes.
Wow.
Y ya nunca volví con ellos, con esos jóvenes.
Yeah.
A mí creo que con dos sí, porque
Mhm.
están en mi iglesia,
Yeah.
los demás pues no
Okay.
están. Eran de diferentes iglesias.
Okay.
Ya,
Different.
y me
Okay.
acuerdo que el muchacho que no me dejó ir se llamaba Felimón. Y así se llama mi pastor. A mí me da terrible.
Yeah.
Tengo amigas y amigos también que les gustan las películas de miedo, pero a mí no me gustan.
Mhm.
Para nada.
Yeah, like I feel like back then I would watch every type of like horror movies, but I feel like I'm to the point where I don't like to watch anything that involves ghosts or like demons, exorcism, all that. I don't
Yeah.
watch that. I'm more of the type of person that there's like murder, like a Scream movie, or
Okay.
like there's a killer. I like those type of movies, or like suspenseful where there's like a jealous boyfriend or something like that.
Yeah.
I like those type of movies, but when it comes to like more like that realm of like The Conjuring, I don't know if you know those like
La
movies
del
that I
canguro.
don't like that.
¿Cómo?
Conjuring?
Yeah,
Yeah,
okay.
those movies, like I've only watched it because my mom and my little brother, they're like fanatics of like horror movies. Like my mom does not go to the movies unless it's a scary movie.
Oh, wow.
Yes, yeah. So, so the thing is that so like I would choose movies and then it will be their turn to choose the movies. So I was like, okay, so that's the only reason why I've watched those movies, because like I kind of like had to, and I'm like, okay, whatever. But I don't like those movies because I feel like at the end of the day, it kind of brings bad energy.
Yeah.
You know,
It
so I
does.
was just like, I just rather stay away from that.
Yeah, no, hoy ya, es mejor quedarse tranquilo de eso. Y
Ujú.
hoy hablábamos de la mente, creo que la mente es algo increíble.
Yes.
Nuestra mente, supuestamente usamos del 3 al 5%.
Mm,
No usamos ni siquiera el 10% de nuestra mente.
that's
Es una
crazy.
locura.
Yeah.
Estaba viendo un estudio y dicen que, ¿cuál fue el que inventó la luz?
He was
¿Cómo se llama?
the one that invented the
The light.
light.
Ya,
Benjamin Franklin. No.
sí, es ese.
Him. Okay.
Dicen que él usaba del 8 al 10%.
Wow. That's crazy.
Y él inventó la luz. Y te imaginas si usáramos el 25%, haríamos unas locuras.
Mhm.
Pero lo que voy es que la mente, lo que alimentamos la mente,
Mhm.
es increíble lo que puede hacer la mente. Y
Sí.
también el daño que nos puede hacer, bueno o malo. En veces la mente es muy buena y podemos hacer muchísimas cosas, pero también podemos hacer muchas cosas malas con nuestra mente.
Yeah, that's true.
Y el problema con la mente es que te lleva de un lugar a otro.
Mhm.
Y allí es donde viene todo lo de la ansiedad, la depresión, porque la misma mente empieza a alimentar todo lo que estás pensando. Si ya lo pensaste una vez, es más fácil poderlo pensar otra vez.
Yes.
Y luego otra vez.
Yes.
Y ya cuando acuerdas, ya estás bien metida o metido
Mhm.
en ese pensamiento. Y a lo mejor ni ha pasado todavía.
Yeah.
Pero estás pensando en lo que estabas pensando días antes o
Yeah.
meses después.
Yeah, that's true. So that's why we have to be careful with what we're feeding, what we're watching on TV,
Yeah.
who we hang out with, because I feel like one little thing can trigger something in your mind that can take you to like not like in a good mental state.
Yeah. Y
So
también
it's
para lo
crazy.
bueno. Hay
Yeah.
unas cosas buenas, si alimentas las
Yeah.
cosas buenas, vas a sacar
Yeah.
algo bueno, vas a sacar
Yes.
un provecho bueno. Y
Yeah,
si no,
that's true.
vas a
It's
sacar algo malo.
exactly.
Yeah. ¿Algo más que quieras comentar?
I guess I just one little thing. Right now, like I mentioned, me and my church were working on evangelizing. We're gonna have like this huge event, and of course you're invited, and like your youth if you guys want to go. But we're having this huge event in our church. We're preparing ourselves, in every aspect with like fasting and like prayer and everything. And I'm very happy because it's something that I'm coordinating, I'm working on, and of course alongside with my youth. But I just want to give like a shout out to them, and like obviously like I feel like it's time for us to, and like it's like a message to everyone. I feel like it's time to, like, if you have something inside of you, like a testimony or anything like that, or if you have this feeling to do something for other people when it comes to them knowing God, just do it.
Yeah.
I feel like I always have that in my mindset where like it's like I want to see this happen. I want to see other people, know Jesus the way that I know him. But your life continues and you just don't do anything about it. So I feel like what I want to say is that if you feel it, just do it. Like, take action. Like, it
Yeah.
doesn't matter if you think you're going to make a fool of yourself. You're not, because whenever you do things for God, you're not making a fool of yourself. You're glorifying Him. You're helping Him. You're growing your relationship with Him. So I feel like just like do it, guys. Like, if there's a testimony that you want to say, like, just say it. When it comes to like social media, like, I'm super happy that you created this platform. I'm happy that my platform is going more like towards like a faith spirituality Instagram page, and I want to encourage other people. What if like other people out there want to create a podcast, want to do
Yeah.
YouTube videos or Instagram? Just do it. Like, yes, maybe you may not have the views or the followers that you want, but don't do it whenever you have it. Do it now, because I feel like that transition of having like 100 followers going to like 1 million, if that's what God wants, it's a beautiful thing. So I want to encourage other people to create positive platforms, to create platforms where people get to know Jesus and get to know who God is for you, and so other people can discover that. So I feel like our mindset should be helping out other people to know who God is through our perspective. And I feel like this event is gonna help me so much in every single aspect. It's gonna open me as a person, and it's gonna help me to be more interactive and be more of an extrovert, because I'm very like shy. Like, I'm such a shy person. So me doing this and me putting myself out there on social media with my faith, I feel like that's such like a big like a step out of my comfort zone. So I just encourage everyone out there, step out of your comfort zone. Don't be shy. Just like do it. There's nothing wrong with like expressing the way that you feel about God or who God is to you. And yeah, and I feel like we should all just kind of like help each other with that. Like, obviously, like me supporting what you have going on, and I
Yeah.
know that you will probably support me. I don't know, maybe not.
No, well.
But yeah, like, I feel like if you have friends that are doing that, support them, like help them out, because it really like fellowship is such also an important thing.
¿Cuándo es la actividad?
So we want to do it in October. So have
Octubre.
that in mind.
Octubre. Oh, acá
Yeah.
falta.
Yeah, it's because we're like,
Okay.
obviously, like we're like doing so many things, like so many little details that we want to do, like reconstruct a little bit with our like church, like painting and like todo
Okay.
eso. And obviously we want to be like fasting and all that stuff. So we don't want to do everything like super quick, like, oh, in the summer. No, like, we want to take our time and do things right, and like everything, so in October. So
October.
put that in your calendar.
Yes.
In
Nomás me
October.
dices qué día y lo
Yes.
ponemos. ¿Va a ser nomás
Okay.
un día?
Yes, just one day on
Okay.
a Saturday.
Nice. Ya.
Yes.
Nomás nos dejas saber qué día y pues ahí lo ponemos también en el podcast cuando salga.
Okay, sounds good.
Todavía no sabes qué día, ¿verdad? Nomás es en octubre.
Yeah, right now it's just in October.
¿Cuál es la página de la iglesia?
So right now you can follow us in our youth page. I'm gonna create an Instagram page for the actual like church.
Okay.
But right now you can follow us in our youth. It's called One Way Youth. It's just kind of like us. I still haven't posted so much things. So guys, just like follow us, but be prepared to see more content and be prepared to see more things God related, and just to see how like we are in our ministry as like me and the girls. So follow us there, and like, if you guys want to follow me, you can follow me there.
¿Cuál es tu página?
So my Instagram is just my name, Aylin, Licea. You can follow me there for any daily dose of fashion. But of course, it's gonna be towards faith and like anything that has to do about like God and like who God is. And of course, in the future, I will be doing YouTube, so you guys can be just kind of like aware of that, and I'll be talking about faith and fashion. So if that's two interests that you guys are interested about, then y'all can go ahead and follow me.
¿Ya tienes tu canal o todavía no lo tienes?
I do have a YouTube channel, but I don't know if I'm gonna just create a whole new one.
Okay.
So
That's
just I
pendiente.
will be putting that in my page if
Nice.
anything happens.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, pues gracias, Aylin, por tu tiempo. Es que fue una buena plática, la disfruté.
Yes.
Espero que las personas que lo escuchen o lo estén viendo también lo hayan disfrutado. Gracias por haber aceptado la invitación, por seguirnos también en nuestra página.
Of course.
Y pues también gracias por hacer el tiempo de estar aquí. En mi
course.
sala, no nomás tú, todos los invitados que han venido, les he agradecido mucho por su tiempo. Gracias por tu tiempo. Espero que las personas que lo vieron o lo escucharon hayan disfrutado la plática. Y pues para mí es todo. Gracias y nos vemos para la siguiente. ¿Puedes decir otra vez tu página?
Aylin A. Licea.
Ok, so para que vayan y la sigan.
Yes.
Yo como si tuviera miles, nomás tengo 100 y algo. Es la que tiene más, pero si las que no lo siguen o la siguen, pues vayan y a seguirla.
Thank you.
Hace un buen contenido ahí de lo que ella hace.
Thank you.
Espero que hayan disfrutado. Los que escucharon o vieron este episodio les agradecemos mucho. Y nos miramos para la próxima. Cuídense y hasta la próxima.
Bye.
Beautiful.